Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Shalev and Humphrey, and we're back for a new novel study. We're starting a new book called The Fantastic Frame. I know it's backwards, but this is a story. It's similar to the Jack and Andy stories with the Magic Tree House where they go into a different time. This is also similar, except they go into an art painting, okay? It's called The Fantastic Frame by Lynn Oliver. So let's get started with our new novel study book. The Fantastic Frame, Book 1, Danger, Tiger Crossing. Chapter 1. I saw a giant orange pig on our swing set this morning, said my little sister Maggie. He was wearing a fancy black hat. We were eating tuna melts in our kitchen table in our new house. Of course he was, I said, and I bet he was playing Jingle Bells on the tuba. Everybody knows pigs don't play the tuba, Maggie snapped, sticking her tongue out at me. And here they are, sitting at their table. Here's little Maggie and the narrator. I decided not to continue this conversation. 4-year-olds say weird things, and there's no point trying to talk sense into them. The other day, it took me an hour to convince Maggie that bananas don't dance. But our mom, being our mom, felt that this little bubble brain deserved a serious answer. It would be very unusual to see an orange pig on our swing set, honey, my mom said, wiping off a long string of gooey cheese off of Maggie's chin. At least one with a fancy hat, added Dad. Maggie slammed her sandwich down on her plate. She can have a bad temper when she wants to. I saw him, she pouted. He also had a white shirt buttoned all the way up to his blobby pig neck and a red bow tie with polka dots. This is ridiculous, I told her. There's no way a pig could tie a tie. I don't even know how to do it, and I'm a 10-year-old human. You're just making up this whole story to get attention. Tiger Brooks, my mother frowned at me. Don't be so harsh with your sister, young man. She has a very active imagination. Now clear the table, please. Wait a minute. Maggie talks like a crazy person and I get in trouble? Who made that rule? At least clearing the table got me out of doing the Saturday deliveries with my mom. She had 20 cakes to deliver that afternoon. Her business is called Cakes by Cookie, which sounds silly until you realize that her name is actually Cookie. She bakes fancy cakes, mostly for little kids' birthday parties. She's been doing really well, which is how our family got the extra money to move into a bigger place from our small apartment in our old neighborhood. I had no interest in spending my first Saturday in our new house dropping off Elmo cakes. Lucky for me, Maggie wanted to go with Mom. Dad announced that he was going to take a nap, and so I did the dishes and cleaned up. Afterwards, I checked my new Batman watch, the one my Uncle Cole gave me when I told him I couldn't tell time the old-fashioned way. It took me a while to learn, but now I could read the hands. It was only 3 o'clock. That left me the rest of the afternoon to set up my lab with no 4-year-olds telling me about their imaginary pig stories. My lab is what other people would call my bedroom. I like to call it a lab because it's where science takes place. Science, Tiger Brooks style, that is. I take things apart to see how they work. Clocks, radios, old tricycles, robots, wind-up dinosaurs, whatever I can find. Then I try to put them back together again. Sometimes I do it right, but mostly I make weird things like a toaster with wheels, or a dinosaur that ticks, or a kitchen chair that roars. And here's Tiger's room. You can kind of see. It's a little bit hard to see, but you can see it's covered with all sorts of like science-y things and tinkering things and boxes. I had a lot of unpacking to do. The first box, which was labeled hands off, and that means you, Maggie, was filled with nuts, bolts, cogs, gears, and screws. The next carton had about 1 million remote controls that I had collected that had gotten separated from their machines. As I picked up that box, one of the remotes fell out and got jammed between my bed and the wall. Suddenly, I heard a whirring sound. Looking around, I saw that my radio-controlled helicopter had taken off. It circled my room and sailed out the window into the backyard. I grabbed the remote and ran into the living room. My dad was on the couch, snoring like a grizzly bear. I dashed past him into the backyard, just in time to see my helicopter cruise by the swing set and disappear over the neighbor's fence. "Hey, get back here," I called out. I tried using the controller, but the helicopter was out of range. As I ran towards the fence, I noticed a weird pattern in the grass under the swing set. It looked like footprints, except they weren't human footprints. Each print was divided into 2 sections and was pointed at the top. Could they be hoof prints? They didn't look like hoof prints. Wait a minute. Pigs have hooves. "Stop it, Tiger," I said to myself. "You are not 4 years old. You do not see imaginary pigs. Just find your helicopter and go back into the lab." I dragged one of the lawn chairs over to the fence. I hopped up and looked into the neighbor's yard. The grass in the yard was as tall as Maggie. No one had mowed it in years. There was a barbecue covered with rust and spider webs. A long clothesline with sheets hanging on it stretched across the whole yard. The sheets were splattered with paint, big splotches of red and purple and yellow and orange. Behind one of those sheets, I could just make out... No, I didn't believe it. I stared long and hard. Then I had to believe it. My eyes don't lie. Here he is looking, and what do we see here? Look at that. I guess, that. It was a black top hat poking out from behind the sheets. "I see you," I said to the hat. There was no answer. "Whoever you are, if you have my helicopter, give it back." Something moved behind the sheets. I looked down and saw the hooves attached to what looked like puffy orange legs. Suddenly, a strong breeze came up and blew the sheet off the line. And standing in front of me was a large orange pig wearing a black top hat and a white shirt and had a red polka dot tie. He was holding my helicopter. "It's you," I whispered. "The one Maggie saw." A woman's voice, old and shrill, came from inside the house. "Chives!" the woman called. "Come in here right now. I need more blue." Here is the pig. "Chives!" the woman called. "Come in here right now. I need more blue." The pig gave me what I think was a smile and tipped his top hat. "I'm very pleased to meet you, good sir," he said. I was so shocked I couldn't move. I just stared at him with my mouth hanging open. "Chives!" the woman called again. "Right now." "If you'll excuse me, Madame is calling," he said. Clutching my helicopter, the pig hurried through the back door of the house. I stood there like a statue. Then I felt a cold, sticky hand on my shoulder. I spun around so fast I fell off the lawn chair and landed face down in the grass. I was afraid to look up, afraid of what I might see. The ice-cold hand of a ghost, a zombie with no face. If a talking orange pig lived next door, maybe something even weirder was lurking in my own backyard. Oh my, let's see. Chapter 2. I stayed perfectly still with my face planted on the grass. I hoped that whatever it was would just go away, but it didn't. "You can look up now," a voice said. "I'm not that scary." I uncovered my eyes and saw a girl about my own age. Oh, that was a relief. No zombies. She had a long black hair and was wearing a crazy-looking hat made out of bird feathers. "I'm Luna," she said. "That means moon in Spanish." "I'm Tiger," I answered. "That means tiger in English." "You're funny," she said with a laugh. "Do you like my hat? I made it myself." "It's, very feathery," I said, pulling myself to my feet. "After you finished it, there must have been a lot of bald birds out there." She laughed again. "I collect feathers and lots of other things, too. Buttons and seashells. I collect feathers and lots of other things, too. Buttons and seashells and shiny pennies. I keep all my stuff in my magic cave. You can come see it if you want." You have your own cave? Sort of, Luna said. It's really my bedroom. We live upstairs from you. That's my window, the one with the purple curtains. I think purple is the coolest color. Don't you? My mom had mentioned that a family named Lopez lived in the apartment upstairs, but she had never said anything about a bird girl who was also a major blabberhead. I can tell you all about our street, Luna was saying. Like the ice cream truck comes on Saturdays at 2 o'clock. You just missed it. I like the lime popsicles best. I just had one, but it melted in my hand before I could finish it. That explained the cold, sticky hand. But it didn't explain the talking orange pig. I had to know more. Luna, I began very carefully, do you ever see any strange creatures around here? Sure. The other day I found a really hairy caterpillar eating an avocado that fell off a tree. It's pretty strange that caterpillars don't like guacamole, don't you think? And Mrs. Hoskins across the street has a parrot named Smarty Pants who can say the alphabet all the way up to Q. Anything even weirder than that? Anything like, let's say, in the pig family? Luna looked very surprised. She got close to me, so close that some of her feathers brushed my face. You mean you saw it? The talking orange pig? I nodded. His name is Chives. He's never told me his name, she said. I've only seen him a few times. When he sees me, he runs back into the house. He lives there? Next door to us? Yes, with Viola Dots. She's really old and has lived in that house for like 50 years. Nobody on the street has ever seen her. She never comes outside. Not ever? Luna shook her head. Once a week, somebody from the store comes to deliver groceries. They ring the doorbell and leave them on the porch. My mom says that I have to stay away from there. Did you tell your mom about the orange pig? I asked her. I told my grandma. She watches me during the day while my mom is at school. And did your grandma call the police or the zoo or the weird animal patrol? No. She's from Mexico and her English isn't very good. But someone has to report this, I said. We can't just let talking pigs run loose in the neighborhood. He doesn't run loose, Luna said. He stays inside. My grandmother says that you shouldn't bother things that don't bother you, so I've never told anybody else. I started to pace back and forth on the grass. My head was spinning with everything I had seen and heard. Part of me felt scared. It's creepy to move into a house next to a talking pig and a crazy old lady who no one has seen in 50 years. But part of me also felt curious, to the same kind of curious I get when I take something apart to see how it works. I just have to know the answer. Luna, I said, do you think we could get a good look inside the house? I've tried, she said. All the windows are covered with thick curtains. You can't see a thing. What about the front door? I asked. I told you, they don't answer the doorbell. Have you ever tried? No? Well, I'm going to, I said. Tiger, they won't open the door, and even if they do, you have no idea what you'll find inside there. People say Viola Dots is mean and crazy. Thanks for the warning, Luna. I'll let you know what I find. I ran along the side of the house until I came to the sidewalk. I hid behind some bushes and studied Viola Dot's house. It must have been blue at one time, but most of the paint had chipped off. The front door was covered with spider webs. At the top of the house was a round tower with a little window. I stared up at it. Was that an eye that I saw looking back at me? My heart beat a little bit faster. The eye disappeared. And then I felt it again. A cold hand on my shoulder. This time, I knew who it was. It smelled like limes. I'm coming with you, Luna whispered in my ear. And here is the creepy old house of Viola Dots. And in this window right here, it's hard to see, but there's a little bit of an eye, and that's who Tiger sees. And we have to see, is it Viola Dots? Is it somebody else? Who's in the house? Together, we crouched down low and crept to the front of the house. Slowly, I pushed open the creaky gate. Then we headed up the path that was overgrown with weeds. When we reached the front of the door, I turned to Luna. This is your last chance to leave, I warned her. I'm in if you're in, she answered. With a shaky hand, I reached up and rang the doorbell. And we're going to stop for there today. I read 2 chapters.